want to combine those two together, especially with when COVID hit. And then we decided to start Awesome Ninja Fitness to help people get the strength, skills, and freedom of movement of a bodyweight skills athlete. The good news with bodyweight fitness, we don't specialize specifically in the aesthetics, which is a bonus. So if you do get a lot better and you get a lot stronger, you are going to look better. It's more work, but I find it more satisfying. Most people know the generic information with traditional fitness, while bodyweight fitness is a little bit more specific, gamifying it a little bit by just with the numbers and then just seeing the progress. Then that's usually where the motivation comes from. And most people are motivated by going towards something or running away from something. We also have constant access of, hey, how's it going? How's the update? Trying to share that way. So it's a combination of putting your money where your mouth is.
Welcome to our Afluencer podcast. We're talking fitness today. We have Brandon Beauchesne. He is the co-founder of Awesome Ninja Fitness. We're going to talk fitness. We're going to talk his fitness journey, potential collabs, and opportunity for health and wellness and fitness influencers, of course. So Brandon, welcome, and kick us off with the inspiration behind creating Awesome Ninja Fitness.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to share our vision and our goal with Awesome Ninja Fitness, which comes to with our story. Me, myself, and my fiance, we have been into certain bodyweight fitness for most of our life. We have coached gymnastics, parkour, ninja warrior, and a little bit of rock climbing. And a lot of the things that we learned, we had to learn through ourselves because we didn't have either expert coaches or the guidance, or a lot of companies that we work with were smaller businesses. So we're kind of just figuring out on our own, especially Ninja Warrior in Canada, where it was a lot newer at the time compared to United States, where with the TV show, it's been alive for a long time. So our combination with spending years figuring these things ourselves and learning ourselves through online, we want to combine those two together, especially with when COVID hit and the way that we were coaching had to be online. Like, we didn't have that option. And so that kind of opened up the door of, well, we can coach these things online. I haven't seen many people coaching these types of things online. We can do it. We've just tested it out. Why don't we do that? So then we decided to start Awesome Ninja Fitness to help people get the strength, skills, and freedom of movement of a bodyweight skills athlete. And here we are now.
Yeah, very cool. And that was kind of the time for body weight exercises. If you didn't know how to do it, was COVID, right? Because we were stuck inside. I would work out here in my office, and it was all, I mean, you had to figure out body weight stuff. What I found is that there's not a lot of good information out there on body weight. It's often, I don't know if this jives with your experience, but I just find a lot of research versus, let's say, like the old barbell stuff was kind of known right on the programming. The body weight stuff was either kind of nebulous, or you're trying to figure out who to follow. I'm like, is this there wasn't a lot out there. So it sounds like a real
I get that.
Valuable.
I think that's one thing we want to help. One issue that we found with bodyweight fitness, different to traditional fitness, is that with a traditional fitness, once you know one exercise, you can do that exercise for years. And all you need to do is increase the amount of weight that you're doing, depending on your goals. If it's strength, power, endurance, that's like more details.
Right.
But like
you
said,
sense. Like if you're bench pressing, you add 2.5 pounds. Every time.
And then if you can do that, you just keep adding more. Well, versus bodyweight fitness, right? You can do it with weights. But for example, instead of a bench press, it would be a push-up. But with a push-up, you don't want to just do 50, 100 push-ups or just keep doing push-ups. So you need to know different variations. So for example, if you do a regular push-up, it's about 69% of your body weight that you're actually pushing. And then if you have bigger legs, that changes. So you need to figure out, how do I increase that? So I need to know different variations. And if you do different variations, it's a bigger list. So it's more work, but I find it more satisfying. But that was one of the things we struggled. So just having if you can do this, do that. If you can do this, do that. If you can do this, do that. So yeah, I found that, so most people know the generic information. With traditional fitness, the generic information is pretty right. While bodyweight fitness, it's a little bit more specific. So people just say like, oh, here are 5 different versions of push-ups. Okay, what muscles do they hit? What is the goal? How many should I do? How do I progress? All that is kind of missing. It's like the information is right, but the application isn't there.
How do you come up with your progressions then? If we go back to the push-up, I've never heard that number, so I find that interesting that you actually know it. That's very cool. How do you come up with whether it's, hey, let's move the hands in, or we're going to elevate the legs, or whatever you do? Was that trial and error, or are you looking at
a lot of it was trial and error?
Okay.
Yeah, I think also because the good news is there's been a lot of progressions, because there are a lot of sports that we've been a part of that use body weight as part of their training, such as rock climbing uses their body weight, Ninja Warrior uses their body weight, parkour less. They're more the movement is the training, but some people get into that. Especially gymnastics is probably a big one where conditioning is part of their thing. So there have been people who have been doing it. Probably the biggest one is the calisthenics community, which is where we've learned a lot of those conditioning and exercises, where they've done that trial and error, and then we do that trial and error with people we've coached, and then we kind of know that way, and then doing it ourselves of, okay, I can do this, but I can't do that. This is harder. And then the different placements of the hands is more of which muscles you're trying to hit a little bit more, which... I mean, the good news with bodyweight fitness, we don't specialize specifically in the aesthetics, which is a bonus. So if you do get a lot better and you get a lot stronger in, let's say, a push-up, right, you are going to look better because you're doing muscles, but doing the difference of someone who's, for example, a bodybuilder there's like 4 different muscle groups inside the shoulder itself. So they want to hit every single one of them, where we're just trying to hit most of it in general, and then our weaknesses ideally would be hit through skill training, so such as a handstand or a planche or things like that. So it's kind of like that's kind of like how we figure it out. It's people have figured it out, and then we kind of just played around with it and saw this what works.
Yeah, very cool. What does that program look like if I'm going to go all in, let's say on the bodyweight program? Am I with you then 6 days a week and 30 minutes a day, or what are, and I'm sure you can, based on the person's schedule, vary that, but what does a typical program look like on the bodyweight side?
So our program, we like to work one-on-one with our athletes, especially when it comes to skill-based training. The goal is to get the strength, skills, and freedom of movement of a bodyweight skilled athlete. So the strength is probably something that most people are familiar with. So our program is 3 months. And then you are doing something every single day. One, to build the habits, because athletes, they have that as a habit. It's just fitness is just a part of their life. But that does not mean it's super intense. Every workout is designed to be about 30 minutes each day, which is what the plan is. Some of them is just like a flexibility / mobility kind of thing, which you're doing on your rest days. But some of the program will look familiar, such as you have 3 days that are specifically focused on strength, and then you have 2 days that are specifically focused on skills or movement, and then you've got 2 more like rest days of just mobility and things like that. Because it's online, we want to use the benefits of online on how it actually provides so many resources that we can use that we also used in our coaching. So for example, we can communicate almost any time. You can do your workouts almost any time. We have an app that you can use that has all the workouts in there, so you can do it anytime during the day. We have video training, so that if whenever we're not available, you can just watch the video and explains what it's supposed to look like, what it's supposed to do. We have PDF guides that you can download and bring it with you if you prefer paper, you want to print it out, or you just don't want to have internet connected with you. We also have nutrition a part of it. And so then we're also using online to have video talks, kind of like we're having right now, being able to talk one-on-one, provide videos of the skill training so we can break it down just like if we would be a coach. So what we don't want it to be is just that typical, here's the information, we're going to talk to you once a week, see what happens, and then good luck. Because we find, like, especially with the online space, a lot of it is kind of like that. Most people who want to be coached do not have an information issue. Most people can find any information online for free. That's not a problem. We did it. Most people do it for almost any single subject. But for coaching, most people want help, implementation, or guidance, or specific thing. So that's something that takes someone 6 weeks to figure out. We're going to help you figure it out in 6 days. So that's kind of like what the idea of the program is supposed to look like.
Yeah, that's huge, having the one source of truth, right? Because there's lots out there. I read a few bodyweight books during COVID, of course, but you don't actually know what to believe. And that's what you're looking for as the coach who can show you the source of truth. To what degree, Brandon, when you start with someone, because I'm assuming mobility, and you talked about mobility type exercises, but do you screen for like freedom of movement to make sure someone can get into, let's say, a body weight squat or do the push up, or they can't raise the arm all the way above the head? Maybe we're not doing the shoulder stands. Do you screen for movement with each client that you're working with before you're doing the programming, or do you try to work through that in the process of training someone?
So the good news, you can work through that. So for example, I've coached a lot of gymnastics boys, and a lot of times boys are less flexible. That tends to be the common thing. And so a lot of times we found, especially in that side and also with other clients, is most of the movements that you're doing, you will gain that mobility anyways. Another common misconception that also happens with fitness is most people will get the full mobility that they need by just doing regular strength exercises. So if you go to the gym already and you're doing your regular exercise, like your bench press, your squats and all that stuff, and you're working towards that, then most people will have the mobility that you need already. So the good news is with the strength exercises, because we're going for full range of motion, you will get that mobility over time anyways. The only thing we don't screen for is obviously people who have clear mobility issues from something else. You know, it could be from an injury, it could be from, a condition. That's something we're not experts in. We would try to find people who would be experts in that. I mean, same thing with any sports team that we coach, whether it be Ninja Warrior, parkour, gymnastics. There was a special physio person that would come in and take care of that. So if it's just like, oh, I'm not mobile, not a problem. You'll get that by just the strength workouts alone. And then the mobility workouts are more just of those ranges of motions that you're probably not doing every single day on the strength exercises. So we are trying to find the least amount of exercises that you can do to hit the most amount of things. So doing a basic squat, you will get that hip mobility, you will get that leg mobility. Maybe not at first, but you will build that over time.
What percentage of your clients would you say are those busy professionals, right, who are looking for that maximum gain? I don't want to say like minimum amount of time, because it's a healthy but very reasonable commitment. I think 30 minutes a day. So are we looking then typically where your athletes are the busy people, or a combination of the professionals and the athletes?
I think most people are busy, but I think everyone is busy. I think we go busy professionals just because it's one of those things where we're trying to make our style very similar to when you were a kid or when you played any kind of sport, either casually or especially in high school or in college, where when you were training because you enjoyed it and you didn't think about how you looked. That was just a consequence. Or one of my favorite things is seeing the pictures of all the Olympic athletes and all their various body types. And, compared to models, it's not the same thing. But I think the same thing happened to us. And luckily, the only reason why we kept doing it is because it was part of our job. I think most people, end up losing that. So everyone's busy. Everyone has responsibilities. I think most people who don't have those busy schedule responsibilities are people who don't need that kind of coaching anyways, because they're probably doing classes, or they probably are already playing a sport, or they're not, life hasn't got to them yet. And so that's why we try to make sure it's about 30 minutes a day. With body weight, you can do it almost anywhere. You just need a place to hang from. And yeah, everyone has some sort of busyness, especially people who have, once you add like family in there, once someone has a kid, some of my my best friends, I see that they have children and how busy they are. And so that was another reason why I've tried to make it as efficient as possible. But yeah, to answer your question, every single one of them is busy with something.
And that's a great thing about body weight, right? You just need a floor, a surface, and like you said, something to hang from. And you can, during COVID again, I picked up the pull-up bar that
the pull-up bar.
You just kind of hang from somewhere, right? And then you're good to go on that front. Let's talk about motivation. Any tips for keeping your clients motivated as they are working with you through the weeks and through the 3-month process?
It's interesting because most people are different. I think most people just needed someone to light a fire behind them, or just to remind them, keep them accountable, which is one of the reasons why coaching I find very important. not only because if you had coaching, I think once someone puts something of value behind it, that's when people get more motivated. So, which is why the program is at least 3 months. And that's why, we charge money for it. I would love to be able to help as many people as I can for free. But part of those people that want to help is them and my family as well. But from a bunch of research that's been done, from what we have seen, if people put something behind it of value, which most people have is money, when someone pays for something, that already like makes them needed to do that thing. They're already committed to that thing. They're putting their money where their mouth is. And they're committed to that. Then within the program, then we have a bunch of different ways to try to keep people motivated. A lot of times it's just people end up being motivated when they see their progress, when they start feeling better, when they start looking better, when they see that number in the scale going down. That motivates the. And then there's also us, which, with the weekly calls, seeing how it's going, trying to give them tips and things like that. And then we also have constant access of, hey, how's it going? How's the update? Trying to share that way. So it's a combination of putting your money where your mouth is, gamifying it a little bit by just with the numbers, and then just seeing the progress. Then that's usually where the motivation comes from. And if people aren't motivated, it can be from various different things because everyone's different. I've seen some people who's like, hey, I want you to yell at me and I want you to make me feel as bad as I can and to push me. While some people are, if you raise your voice to me, I will never speak to you ever again. So it's just learning how the person motivates them. But most people are motivated by going towards something or running away from something, which we call the cat in the cheese when it comes to the mouse, where most people are motivated by running away from something. So usually it's, oh, I don't want to be like that person, or I don't want to look like this. And then you'll combine with what you're going towards, such as, the way you want to feel, the way you want to look. So it's a combination of all those things usually get people motivated.
And then as a business, you're trying to find people at a certain point on the motivation spectrum, shall we say, where they're ready to start doing this. They're interested in body weight. They want to start working with you guys. What have you done on the social media side, influencer marketing, creator marketing side to bring new clients on board? And what do you have cooking in the near term here in terms of social influencers, creators?
Well, that's something that we're really excited about because that's something that's really new to us. Just because we have been coaching in person at these different gyms for over 8-9 years. And we're not really social media people. So we never really posted a bunch of things online. And it would have been so much nicer if we had over 8 years of social media videos and testimonials and activities and doing that. And so being able to build up that brand online, we are aware that how long that's going to take and how much time that is, and trying to give our knowledge and expertise and getting that trust, like you say, like trying to find someone who's able to do that. Influencer marketing is one of those things that you're able to work with someone to help you do that as well, because they are ideally people who have built trust and a relationship with their audience. And so if they have trust in a relationship with you, it's kind of like a help me help you kind of thing, where you already have a brand, you already have an audience. And if you trust us as a brand and you like our product, then that's how we can get it in front of other people that are similar without us, having to spend so many years building that up. So that's kind of what we're working on. So right now we're doing the basic social media posting, trying to get value out there, trying to get those tutorials and videos and experience. And it's just a whole new field for us. And that's why we're hoping for with influencers who have built that thing, that we are able to share our passion and what we have and how to change lives with fitness and skills, and doing that with someone else who can also, support what they love doing as influencers, rather that be as a fitness individual or someone who, wants to work out, or anyone who's just a content creator and can also have a product that they believe in, have a service that they believe in, that they can give to their audience, that they build that trust, while we can help them financially and help contribute that way, and also build a strong relationship and a help me help you kind of thing. So that's why we're really interested to find influencers who believe in our product. That's number one. We don't want anyone to ever sell anything that they don't believe in, and hopefully we can show that our product is something that we believe in and they would want to share with the audience that they have built trust with.
And what does the collab opportunity look like for our influencers who are interested in working with you and like everything that they've heard on your training philosophy?
Yes, so we wanted to be as generous as possible. As we said, that most bigger companies spend so much money on marketing. Our idea is try to do it with influencer marketing, the help me help you kind of thing. So if someone registers, we have two different ways that we're hoping that people can work with us, depending on which one they feel more comfortable. The first one is if they'll have their own personal link, so more of like a by commission base, that if someone registers for a 3-month program, then they'll be able to get a $500 in Canadian commission. So a pretty generous help me help you kind of thing, but we also understand that a higher ticket item is harder to just sell directly, which is why the second option is paid by booking. So we offer a free 7-day version of the program where you get everything included for 7 days. And after the 7 days, you are able to keep the fitness program, the app, the nutrition, everything. You just don't get the coaching. So that way, if they want to promote something like that, which has, zero risk to their audience as well, in that way, they'll book a call with us once they've registered, and then it's up to us to try to, get them to stay with the program. So it's kind of like a bit like a higher risk, higher reward kind of thing, but again, no risk to the influencer if anything happens. And then there is if you want to have a less commission, but maybe that makes you feel more comfortable to sell something to your audience that's free versus something that's paid. It's whatever that makes them feel more comfortable with their audience.
Great. And we'll get the link to the collab right below the show here. So to our influencers watching this, just look below and you can click apply and we'll get you introduced to Brandon so you can have a great conversation here. Brandon, how can people find you on social media, Instagram, all that good stuff?
Well, anywhere on social media, just look for Awesome Ninja Fitness, and we're as many social media places as we're willing to put the time in.
That's great. All right. Awesome Ninja Fitness on social media. And again, we'll get the link to the collab. We've got bodyweight expert Brandon with us today. Brandon, thanks so much for the conversation. It's been interesting. I did not know that on the push-up that it's not 100% of the body weight.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting the more that we learned. And so if anyone ever has any questions like that and wants to learn more, happy to help wherever I can.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, those body weight progressions, you can go to Awesome Ninja Fitness. Brandon, thanks again.
Perfect. Thank you so much.